Would you rather be roasted alive in a bronze bull or placed in a coffin full of spikes? How about being trapped inside a honey-dosed tree trunk for insects to chew away at you alive? Yeah, today we explore the history behind some of the most evil punishments performed on humans. And it's not going to be a pretty ride. So strap yourself in because it just gets more diabolical as we go on. Arguably the most recognizable device on this list, thanks to its various appearances in movies, TV shows, and even Scooby-Doo. The Iron Maiden was actually quite simple compared to the other entries. It was just a human-shaped box, decorated with sharp spikes that would impale the victim on either side as the box was closed shut. Incredibly grim, but simple. But here's why it's so downright evil. The spikes were short and placed in a way that would end the victim slowly, as opposed to instantly. So the demise was just as excruciating as it was enduring. The first alleged appearance of the Iron Maiden was 1515 in Nuremberg, where the victim had pretty much every part of his body pierced in the box, and I mean literally every single part. The arms, the belly, the chest, the bladder, the buttocks, even the eyes. And the worst part? It lasted for 2 full days. Absolutely brutal. Lingchi, or death by 1,000 cuts, takes a sadistic punishment to a whole new level. Imagine this. The victim is tied naked to a wooden frame, and the executioners, armed with razor-sharp blades, begin slicing off small sections of the victim's body. But it doesn't end there. Each cut is calculated and predetermined to ensure maximum pain and to prolong the suffering. And it goes on, piece by piece, until the body is reduced to fragments of itself. The mere thought of this is enough to send shivers down your spine. For instance, in 1905 China, a prisoner named Feng Jimin was a victim of this evil punishment. For his anti-government activities, he endured an excruciating demise that lasted 4 gruesome hours. For a punishment that lasted for roughly 1,000 years, it doesn't fail to haunt us. Lingchi truly stands as a chilling testament to the depths of human cruelty. Step right up and behold the Brazen Bull. It may seem like a tribute to the mighty animal, but behind its gleaming brown facade lies the chilling truth. A truly diabolical device of torment and terror. Here's how it worked. This colossal bronze statue, shaped like a bull, had a door on either side. The victim would be locked inside, and a fire would be lit beneath to start slowly heating the metal. Yep, cooked alive in a scorching oven, inflicting unimaginable and unbearable agony. But here's the frightening detail of it all. The bull's design includes pipes that turn the victim's screams into haunting bull-like sounds. It just added to the horror. One infamous account involved its creator, Perilos, who suffered from his own invention. He was forced to test it by the tyrant Perilos, and his screams echoed throughout the city. Not exactly the type of Sunday roast you would hope for with this one. Truly one of the more demonic punishments on the list. Any Game of Thrones fans out there? Well, if you're not, then be prepared for a shock. Born way back in 800 BCE in ancient Assyria, the disturbing practice of flaying was made to frighten enemies. But let's be honest, it did a lot more than that. The victim would be defenselessly tied up at the mercy of their tormentors. Knives and anything sharp would be brandished to precisely peel away the very fabric of the victim's existence, their skin. And it would be done methodically, slowly, to ensure maximum suffering. Just imagine that for a second. Having your skin peeled away like a fruit as you watch your life vanish before you. Absolutely terrifying. The practice of flaying was even used in religious rituals, such as during the reign of the Aztec civilization, where the victim's skin would be removed piece by piece as an offering to appease the gods. Yeah, not sure if any god would actually appreciate that, guys. Now, on to arguably the most skin-crawling method of torture: Scaphism, an ancient Persian punishment that would make your stomach churn. Discretion advised with this one, it's just plain horrific. So, Scaphism actually varied between using 2 tree logs or some really hollow boats, large enough to contain a human body. The helpless victim, doused in milk and honey, is forced to lay in the nightmarish vessel and is set afloat on a body of water, while the rest is really left to nature. Hordes of insects would invade, whose bites and stings would turn this into an excruciatingly slow demise. And not to mention their own feces. I mean, it took days and sometimes weeks for the torment to end. So you can only imagine the state of the vessel. We know, grim. As time crawls by, the victim's body becomes a breeding ground for maggots and vermin. This, along with the scorching heat, leaves the victim powerless as they are left no choice but to accept their fate. Yeah, maybe skin crawling was a bit of an understatement to describe this one. All right, brave souls, let's keep going as we witness the twisted marvel that is the Pear of Anguish. This truly was a unique instrument of torment, designed to leave its victims with, well, let's say an upset stomach, among other things. Inserted into the victim, the Pear of Anguish expands, spreading its sharp metal petals wider and wider, tearing out their insides and inflicting unimaginable pain. The body becomes an internal battleground of agony as the pear forces itself into places it should never venture. The fun didn't stop there, though. The twisted minds behind the pear found pleasure in experimenting to try and inflict more pain, and even at times made the petals twist and tear surrounding flesh. It's like a sinister game of how far can we go with the human body as the playing field. Let's just all be happy that we never have to experience this punishment firsthand. And now let's take a ride into the soaring heights of barbaric brutality by unveiling the chilling tale of the Blood Eagle, an excruciating method that will make even the hardiest among you quiver in your boots. Picture this: the victim, captured and condemned, is lying flat on their stomach, their back exposed like a blank canvas. With precise skill, the executioner wields his weapon, meticulously carving through the flesh and muscle, exposing the victim's rib cage underneath. I mean, who even thinks of this stuff? Unfortunately, it doesn't end there. The executioner actually goes ahead and separates the ribs, forming a grotesque resemblance of blood-drenched wings. The lungs, still intact, are pulled outwards, creating the illusion of an eagle taking flight. I'll give a few points on the creativity of this one, but full marks on how absolutely terrifying it sounds. Am I right? You know when someone tickles you too hard that it eventually just starts hurting and becoming annoying? Yeah, this is like that, but like 1,000 times worse. So prepare to be tickled to your core by the insane invention known as the Spanish Tickler. Born in medieval Spain, the Spanish Tickler was an intricate instrument with sharp spikes and hooks. The victim would be tied up and defenseless with their body exposed for the torturer to have their fun. With sadistic precision, the tickler drags across the victim's skin, leaving behind trails of pain and anguish. And it wasn't just limited to the surface. Oh no, its hooks could dig deep, tearing through flesh and muscle, ensuring that every sensation was a symphony of suffering. The Spanish Tickler truly serves as a reminder that tickling isn't always a laughing matter, especially when it leaves you bloodied and screaming for mercy. Thanks for conquering history with us. See you soon.